Hi everyone, this is Jay Beach, your instructor for Sustainable Leadership, EMS 505. First of all, I hope that all of you had a good break and a nice Christmas vacation. Up here it was actually pretty wet and cold, and most of us have been sick with the flu, so I hope that a lot of you have been able to avoid that. So as you probably know, our main reading for this course is going to be the Weiss book. It's an introduction to leadership, and that's an e-book. And then we have a couple of new books here. This is All In, The Future of Business Leadership, and The Business Guide to Sustainability, Practical Strategies and Tools for Organizations. These both look like pretty good books. I'm going through them now, so I'm going to be reading them along with the rest of you. This is my third time going through this leadership series, and in the past we've had a couple of other references, but the Weiss e-book is I think going to be our primary reference here. So a little bit about myself. My background has primarily been in engineering and science, working for consulting firms, coal, oil, and nuclear gas plants, and then geotechnical and environmental and civil engineering for consulting firms. I also worked for the state of Oregon for about 10 years as a science and engineering manager. My education started with a BS in mechanical engineering, and then I got an MS in environmental science, as well as a green MBA from Marylhurst University, and then finally I achieved my PhD in the social sciences with an emphasis on sustainability and leadership from the California Institute of Integral Studies. In total, I have about 20 years of leadership experience, and I've had groups ranging from as few as 7 people working for me to as many as 20 in some fairly large organizations, large budgets. I've had, as a project manager, I've had projects over $20 million that I was responsible for, and delivering those projects on time and on budget, which, as you can imagine, is a big challenge when you're talking about projects of that size that cover several years. But now I primarily teach online graduate level courses. I only teach courses in sustainability. I'm teaching sustainable leadership here at ASU. Some of you will recognize me in your capstone course as well. I'm also teaching at St. Francis University, the University of Denver, and Franklin Pierce University. In order to connect with each of you, I will be trying to talk to you by phone, preferably next week, so I'm going to be reaching out to you in the announcement section to see when you're available. This gives me a chance to hear a little bit more about you, your concerns, goals, aspirations, and generally just get to know you a little better. If you are in my capstone course, then I already have your contact information, so I'll just need to get a date and a time that works for you to talk, and then I'll try to confirm that by email. So about this course, we're focusing in this first course, in this first of 3 courses, on understanding ourselves. Lisa Estrada has provided us a good Socrates quote, which says, let him who would move the world first move himself. So that's certainly fitting here. We really do need to understand ourselves, and I can tell you I've spent much of my professional career trying to understand my own idiosyncrasies and my strengths and my weaknesses, and I've got more than my share of weaknesses, but it's just a matter of understanding them and then trying to work around them and then take advantage of your strengths. So we'll be discussing different leadership approaches in this course, how sustainable leadership is life-changing for you and those you influence, the problems of a lack of good leaders today, comparing and contrasting leadership functions, evaluating your own personal behavior styles, values, and your emotional intelligence, analyzing the role of motivation in the integration of leadership, and finally creating an individual sustainability leadership development plan. So I think you're all going to get a lot out of this course. You're certainly going to learn a lot about yourselves, and I think this is essential, but it's fun and it's instructional, and it's eye-opening for a lot of us. So As we will discover in this course, many of the needs of any good leader are significantly accentuated with the needs of a good, sustainable leader. As an example, the need to be positive and to be an effective change agent is greater for sustainability leaders than for the vast majority of other leadership roles. And now let's look at the course schedule here. There are a combination of assignments, lectures, a good deal of reading, and importantly discussions with one another. We really do try to bring in your expertise and your areas of leadership and in your individual businesses and past backgrounds, because what you bring to the course is essential, and it's at least as important as what I'm able to bring to this course. So along with our reflections and our lessons learned and areas for course improvement, I would plan about 12 hours per week for this course, but try to keep it under 10 hours just to keep things manageable. And that's a good way to practice your own time management. But the emphasis here is going to be on the learning process for each of you, as well as on your personal development as leaders. And I hope and expect this will be a very positive experience for each of you, and I know it will be a valuable one for me. I've enjoyed this course immensely in the past, and I like the second two courses just as much. And so the information gained here should be very useful to you throughout your careers as leaders. I want to emphasize that again because you're going to get a lot out of that. So welcome to each of you once again. I look forward to talking to at least some of you the next week or so, and I'll see you all online.